women, being a woman was considered a pre-existing condition, no more. But you know the list of benefits that are in there. But I just want to focus on the fact that when they thought they had just a few, it was severable and they would go after a few provisions, their focus was on ending the benefit of a pre-existing condition not being a barrier to access to health care. So we had the briefings where we had a press conference, maybe somebody were on the call with Javier Becerra. I salute him for taking the lead against this Texas initiative and now Trump initiative.
So let's see if we can get into the facts. To all of the witnesses, if you have personal knowledge of a single material fact in the Schiff report, please raise your hand. And let the record reflect no personal knowledge of a single fact. And you know what? That continues on the tradition that we saw for Madam Schiff, where Ambassador Taylor could not identify an impeachable offense. Mr. Kent never met with the president. Fiona Hill never heard the president reference anything regarding military aid. Mr. Hale was unaware of any nefarious activity with aid. Colonel Vindman even rejected the new Democrat talking point that bribery was invoked here. Ambassador Volker denied that there was a quid pro quo, and Mr. Morrison said there was nothing wrong on the call. The only direct evidence came from Gordon Sondland, who spoke to the President of the United States, and the President said, "I want nothing. No quid pro quo."
Got Ukraine, and I remember going over convincing our team, or others too, convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, "No," I said, "I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion." They said, "You have no authority. You're not the president." The president said. I said, "Call him." I said, "I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion." I said, "You're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here." And I think it was, what, 6 hours? I looked, I said, "I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money." Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Proceed.
As I bring on Congresswoman Maloney, I want to join the distinguished chairman in acknowledging legislation of other members of Congress that are contained in the chairman's legislation that they are putting forth, and chairwoman's. And I also want to acknowledge Maxine Waters is doing some very important work on this subject, not part of this package, but part of preserving our democracy. With that, I'm pleased to yield to the distinguished chairwoman of the Government Reform and Oversight.
Is this Joy speaking? The same Joy? The same Joy that paraded around in blackface not too long ago? Come on, Joy. I don't think you should be asking these questions. I am an African American.
Excuse me. The black community had my back. They know that that was not blackface. That was an homage.
We welcome everyone to this morning's hearing on oversight of the Department of Justice. We will now begin.
I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. General. I'm reclaiming my time. Mr. Attorney General, I have short time. Can you just tell me why you have not... Mr. Attorney General, I want to respect you, but I have a short time.
First, I'd like to respond to what you... Would you please answer my question? My time is limited. I have the time. Thank you. May I respond to these?
Reclaiming my time.
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Well, you got to let him answer. Reclaiming my time.
The night before... That is Monday night.
I know your story, but I'm asking.
Well, I'm telling my story. That's what I'm here to do.
Well,
I do. That's why I'm here.
My question.
Well, I'm here to tell my story. And on the night before, on February 10th,
sir,
on February 10th, I directed
reclaiming my time, and I know you don't want to answer.
Think it's fair? Do you think it is fair for a 67-year-old man to be sent to? Said that
reclaiming my time.
You can give a speech or you can ask questions. If you do the latter, you need to let the witness answer the questions.
I reclaim my time.
I wasn't reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Attorney General. Reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time.
I don't think we've ever had a hearing where the witness wasn't allowed to respond, particularly when you think about the fact we got the Attorney General of the United States here.
Gentleman does not have the time
I don't want the time. I want the Attorney General to be able to have enough time to respond to accusations and questions asked him, and you guys not cut him off.
Reclaiming my time. Okay, reclaiming my time. Excuse me, the time is mine. Will you restore my time because this witness is speaking over my time?
You went over time. Let the witness respond.
Mr. Barr, I just asked for a yes or no, so let me just tell you, I'm starting to lose my temper. Excuse me, this is my time. Excuse me, Mr. Barr, this is my time, and I control it.
I may reclaim my time, sir. I've only got 2 minutes, sir.
That they recognized.
Mr. Barr, if I may.
Yeah, but this is a hearing. I thought I was the one that was supposed to be heard. The one I voted by mail.
Reclaiming my time. Okay, reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time, sir.
Mr. Barr, I will get to that. Reclaiming my time. You answered the question. Okay. I have another question for you. On June 19th of 2020.
Actually, I need to answer that question.
Mr. Attorney General, you did answer the question.
No, you said under penalty of perjury. I'm going to answer the damn question. Okay?
You said the answer was yes, is what you said.
Well,
are you saying no?
I think what I was referring to, and I'd have to see the context of it, was the supplying of documents.
No, Mr. Attorney General, the statement was not limited to the supply of documents. You stated at a press, Mr. Attorney General, reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time.
For months, you've tried to get the Attorney General to come. He's here. Why don't you let him speak? Why don't you let him answer the questions?
Gentleman is not...
Time after time. If you want the Attorney General to come, at least let him answer the questions and the accusations made against him.
The gentleman's rudeness is not recognized.
Rudeness?
Rudeness is on the other side.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, could we take a 5-minute break?
Dean is recognized.
Could we take a 5-minute break, Mr. Chairman?
No.
That's a common courtesy,
Dean is
Chairman, of every witness.
I waited an hour for you this morning. I haven't had lunch. I'd like to take a 5-minute break. Okay, so all day.
Attorney General, the time is mine. We've waited a long time for you to come here. The time is mine.
You've waited to talk to me like this? You didn't need to wait so long.
When asked about reclaiming my time, I'm surprised at your lack of respect for a member of Congress.
Reclaiming my time, sir. I'm running out of time, sir.
Without objection, the hearing is adjourned.
At the time.
No question, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
And Vice President Biden was in the United States Senate working with segregationists to oppose busing, which was the vehicle by which we would integrate America's public schools. Had I been in the United States Senate at that time, I would have been completely on the other side of the aisle. And let's be clear about this. Had those segregationists their way, I would not be a member of the United States Senate, Cory Booker would not be a member of the United States Senate, and Barack Obama would not have been in a position to nominate him to the title he now holds.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. That would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place.
As also noted, Robert C. Byrd was a parliamentary library, a keeper of the institution of the Senate, and he was the institution itself. But to me, and many people here today, like guys I see, Bill Bradley and Jim Sasser, who've long left the Senate for greener pastures, and I hope better remuneration. We used to kid about that too, but for a lot of us, he was a friend. And he was a mentor, and he was a guide.
This closure is absolutely devastating to businesses like hair salons.
A homeless man arrested for violating the mandatory mask order.
The hair salon owner who opened up her store has been jailed.
Must wear your mask. Wear the mask. This is the president who doesn't want to wear a mask. No one is above the law.
Nancy Pelosi was seen not wearing a face mask at a San Francisco hair salon.
Day before, Pelosi was saying that those people who don't wear masks, who don't follow rules, are bad people.
Not wearing a mask and having haircuts indoors against the rules there.
Be an example to the country and wear the mask.
Nancy Pelosi appears to have violated.
I'm a big believer in wearing the mask.
Next time, Madam Speaker, why don't you see if someone will come to your house?
You must wear your mask. Wear masks at all times.
Rules for thee, not for me.
And to blame others. Leaders take responsibility.
So I take responsibility for falling for a setup.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi claims she was set up.
So the Speaker of the House is blaming the salon after she didn't wear a mask indoors.
And now she's having lawyers get involved to like dox this, poor salon owner who has been shut down for 6 months.
We haven't worked. We have no income. Since this happened, I have received nothing but hate, text messages, death threats. They're going to burn my hair salon down.
I think that that this salon owes me an apology.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done there. So, in the meantime, Nancy Pelosi is overseeing a legislative negotiation in which salons like the one that she went to would not get any money.
We have bills to pay.
So upsetting, and it's devastating.
Pelosi is being decimated for having a beauty parlor opened when all others are closed.
Financially, it's bogus.
The timestamp on the video says 3:08 p.m. Less than 3 hours later, she appeared on MSNBC with perfectly coiffed hair, lecturing everyone else.
Those people there, no mask. What a bad example that was.
I mean, you wouldn't want to go into your freezer with that kind of ice cream, not looking your best.
Understanding what you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment. One, I married Jill. And two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastards.
To serve on the board of a Ukrainian energy company facing serious corruption charges, you were the vice president running point on Ukraine. The average Joe hears that and says, that sounds fishy. What's your understanding of what your son was doing for an extraordinary amount of money?
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board, and that was it. And there's nobody...
Well, you've had a lot of time. Isn't this something you want to get to the bottom of?
No, because I trust my son.
But that doesn't pass the smell test. Like when you're vice president, isn't there a higher standard? Don't you need to know what's happening with your family? Don't you need to put down some guardrails?
Unless there was something that was, there was something on its face that was wrong. There's nothing on its face that was wrong. So look, if you want to talk about problems, let's talk about Trump's family. I mean, come on. This is... These guys are amazing.
So you think that everything that happened was kosher?
You know there's not one single bit of evidence, not one little tiny bit, to suggest anything done was wrong. You know that, but you keep asking me these questions. It's okay. You're doing what you have to do, but I'm not worried about it. Look, the American public knows me.
Last one on this. Say you're elected, you're in office. What guardrails would you have to be sure that your son, your brother Jimmy, doesn't do anything to trade on the family name?
They will not be engaged in any foreign business because of what's happened in this administration. No one's going to be seeking patents for things from China. No one's going to be engaged in that kind of thing.
So no foreign business for your relatives?
Joe Biden sure has done some dumb things over the years, like when he sided with racist Dixiecrats against measures to desegregate schools, saying we shouldn't, quote, hold the white man back to give the black man a head start. Then Biden had the nerve to claim he marched in the civil rights movement. He didn't, of course. And later, he wrote the infamous crime bill, expanding the mass incarceration of a generation of black men.
It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. Take them out of society.
Biden treated Anita Hill like garbage, and his inappropriate behavior toward women straight from the 1950s. Even President Obama urged Biden not to run, refusing to endorse him for president.
Done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was right then, and that's why he is wrong.